All right. For some reason, this is not showing. All right, everybody is muted. Actually, if somebody wouldn't mind unmuting themselves and just letting me know what you're seeing, because I am not seeing the screens that I'm supposed to be sharing.
Tom, I'm looking at you. Tom Jackson, Vice President, Product Development, Regulatory Affairs, and a handsome picture.
Well, if you're seeing it, Lynn, if you're seeing a handsome picture of me, I don't know what you're looking at.
It is your picture.
And now we see
Now it says
Jouve.
Jouve.
All right. So I guess I can still do this the right way. That's good. So we'll get going. Like I said, we're going to talk about the night cream first, and we'll go through this. And again, I know this is not the first time some of you have been presented with the night cream. I know a lot of you have now had it in your hands, and you've seen the video, you've seen the other marketing materials. So some of this might be a review, and also this is not necessarily training on what the product is, but really just to kind of give you some talking points as you get out there with your prospects and those people that you talk with. Just some key things that I think really set these products apart. So with Jouve, here's the thing with the night cream. I get asked a lot, well, why did you develop a night cream? And really the question is, why didn't we develop a night cream first? You could almost make an argument that a night cream is one of the most important pieces of a good skincare line. And the reason is because you want a night cream to do your heavy lifting. Your skin revitalizes and replenishes itself at night while you sleep. And so this is the most important time to nourish your skin, give it those things that will really help reactivate and replenish and renew your skin. And so you really want to take advantage of this time during the day, or during the night rather, when your skin is prepped and ready to receive moisturizers, those things that are really going to help, like I said, renew your skin. And so that's why the night cream was developed the way it is. That's why night creams usually are such a critical part of a line. So find this here. So again, we all know what it's like to wake up and just feel like you've just been through the ringer, and you've got bags under your eyes, and your skin is slack and it's just dull. And you know, we like to say that this product helps you wake up Instagram ready, right? Which is never reality, but we're going to get as close as we can. So this really is your beauty sleep. And heaven knows a lot of us need beauty sleep. I certainly do. So this is, again, really just designed to do the heavy lifting during the period, day and night, when your skin needs it most, when your skin is actually most active, and when your skin is most vulnerable to things like moisture loss. So this really is just such a key thing. And key ingredients of a night cream are important. I was in Asia last week, and I ended up in the airport in Guangzhou and had a very lengthy delay. And so I had hours to kill in the airport. And when that happens, I love nothing more than to wander through the duty-free shops, the cosmetic duty-free shops, because I love to just pick up just item after item, all of the big retail brands, and see what they're launching, see what the new thing is for them. Do a little bit of a market research while I'm killing time in the airport, and so I love to do this and just kind of shoo the salespeople away and just go through product after product. And what I find, and what we typically find in a lot of these retail products, is they are built around one really solid active ingredient, and they use that very heavily in their marketing. And they talk about how important that active ingredient is. And so they are all very proud of their active ingredient. Well, our approach is a little bit different. We actually put multiple active ingredients in our formulas. As you know, one of the key cornerstones of the Jouve line and product development here in general is that we want products that are multifunctional. So there is sort of your first talking point about night cream, as well as the entire Jouve line, is these are products that are multifunctional. So we'll talk about a little bit of what that means and how all of these things fit together. But we built our formula around 4 key actives. Now there are other actives in there. There's some great aloe, and there's hyaluronic acid. There are a few other things that are still very good on their own. But we added in 4 botanical ingredients. Well, actually, with the red complex, it ends up being 6. That we feel really work synergistically and really make this multifunctional product work on a lot of different levels. So we're going to talk about each one of these just really briefly. You may have heard this, you may have read about these, but let me just kind of give you a little bit of information about each one. So the Persian silk tree, which is just an amazing, amazing ingredient. This is clinically proven. And again, these are the ingredients we love to use. We love to find ingredients that have already been through clinical trials of their own, clinically proven on their own to have a benefit. This one, slides got off. I must have deleted a slide here. Persian silk tree, well, let's talk about this. This is something that is branded under the name Prodesia. And it is clinically proven to reduce the signs of tiredness and fatigue by 60%. And this is, again, clinically shown in their own independent trials. And so what are those signs of fatigue? Well, it's dull skin, it's sagging skin, it's skin that just is not radiant in the morning. And so we all know, we've all looked in the mirror in the morning on those bad mornings after a night's sleep that wasn't very good. And we've seen that. We know what that looks like. And so this is an ingredient that's put in there at clinical levels to help reduce those signs of fatigue, to help your skin just look more fresh and clean and radiant in the morning. And this is sort of the cornerstone of the product, one of the main key ingredients that's in there for that specific benefit. We go on to the stem cells that are from the Budlaha plant. This is the butterfly bush. And this is very, very key as we talk about stem cells. Now, stem cells get talked about a lot out there, and there's a lot of confusion about what stem cells are, and about whether you should be looking for plant stem cells or human stem cells, or what it is you should really be looking for. Well, stem cell technology, let's talk about this a little bit. What is stem cell technology? First of all, let's talk about what it's not. These are not actual stem cells. So that's the first maybe myth that people talk about, that there are actual stem cells being put into the product. That is never, ever the case. So if you ever hear somebody say they have stem cells, actual living stem cells in their product, cosmetic product, you know that they don't know anything about their product, because that is never the case. Because obviously you have to keep those, to keep them alive, you have to have a very specific pH, you have to have nutrients in there. It has to be a living broth, and cosmetics never are. So it's never active living stem cells that are put in. Number 2 myth is that it does not replace your skin's own stem cells. So those are 2 things that people sort of get wrong. I see a lot out there in marketing and in the retail sector. People tend to think it's either living stem cells that they're putting on their skin, or it's stem cells that get absorbed that replace their skin's own stem cells. So let's talk about what it actually does. So stem cells, sorry, I'm stuttering, from the plant are cultured. What this means, this is biotech. This is real cutting edge science stuff. So these are brought in, and the technology that's used for our specific stem cell is HTN, or high tech nature. So what this does is, in the lab setting, you're able to isolate and culture these stem cells, and the way they're fed and cultured specifically produces these bioactive ingredients, and these bioactive ingredients are then placed into the night cream. So it's not the stem cells themselves. The stem cells are cultured, they grow, and they produce these bioactive ingredients. And so these plants were very specifically selected for the bioactives that they produce. These are then put into the night cream. The night cream is put on your skin, absorbs into your skin. Well, what happens when it gets into your skin is it stimulates your skin's stem cells to rev up again. We're all born with stem cells. We have them in our skin. They're there our entire life. When we age, they slow down. They don't kick off daughter cells quite as often. So as stem cells are undifferentiating, they grow the daughter cells, which then become squamous cells or skin cells or whatever, whatever the skin needs. Well, that slows down as we age. And these stem cells are just not as active. So these bioactives have been proven to stimulate those stem cells so that they work the way they did when you were in your teens and your 20s, when your skin was at its best. And so they replenish your stem cells. They also do other things. They're really great at protecting and preserving your stem cells as well. But the main benefit is that they replenish your stem cells. And that doesn't mean they replace your stem cells. It means they give your stem cells a good kick in the behind and get them going again. So that's the beauty and the science and the amazing nature of stem cells. Now, why did we choose the stem cells we did? Well, first of all, we wanted these specific bioactives that have been shown to act the way they do on your stem cells. We also chose plant stem cells because it's a cleaner source. We know then it is, we know it's non-GMO. We know it is free of pesticides and herbicides and things. And there honestly there are some products that use stem cells derived from humans. We don't like that. First of all, you have to know that's derived from human fat. And in a lot of cases, you're never quite sure if everything else has been completely stripped from that fat. And one of the things that concerns me personally is that a lot of the toxins in our body are stored in our fat. So fat is actually very, very heavy in toxins. And so to use that as a starting material for stem cells has always kind of raised my eyebrows and made me wonder, are you absolutely sure that all of those toxins and all of those contaminants are gone when you start with human stem cells? So, you know, I know Deanna, when she launched this, she was talking about butt fat. You know, do you want to put somebody else's butt fat on your face? And if you kind of think about that in those terms, it kind of gives you pause and you think, you know, we know the plant stem cells are a very clean source, renewable source, and one that we just really love. And so again, they're very highly standardized. They're free from any type of pollutant. They're non-GMO. And again, they're extremely efficacious. The Persian silk tree extract, again, reduces the visible signs of fatigue. So I got these in the wrong order. Paracress. Let's talk about paracress. This is something that that we didn't really talk a lot about at the launch, just because we were focusing on some of the others. But I really love this ingredient, and the reason I love this is that it takes care of a common problem in your skin that most of us never talk about, most of us never think about, and that's something called glycation. Well, glycation happens when sugar molecules bind to collagen. Now, sugar, we talk about how horrible sugar is internally and how it affects us in weight loss and health and all these things. Well, again, remember, skin is one of your organs, just like everything else. And it does, when you eat a lot of sugar, it does absorb the sugar. One of the horrible things that happens in the skin when you have excess sugar is that it binds to proteins, specifically collagen and elastin. Well, what happens when it binds to it is it kind of locks it up. And it doesn't allow the collagen and the protein to go and interact the way it needs to in the skin. It becomes more brittle. It's less able to act the way it's supposed to. It's like two cars crashed into each other, and now you're trying to pull them apart and trying to steer them and park them, and there's no way that works. So as long as the sugar is bound to the protein can't work the way it's designed to. And so then you end up in a breakdown of collagen and elastin in your skin, and that we know leads to aging, signs of aging. And so we're really, really proud of the paracress in here and the effect it has on aging. So now if you look at a lot of these, okay, so now we're talking about things that are happening at the deepest levels of the skin and the stem cells. We're talking about looking now at what's happening in what we call the extracellular matrix, which is the area in between the skin cells, which is where the proteins live, the collagen and elastin. So we're looking at how all these different active ingredients act in different ways on the skin, and that's what I talked about being multifunctional. We wanted something that helps your skin in a lot of different ways. And this one, protecting against glycation, is really, really good. And this shows that this not only protects against it, but it actually helps repair some of the proteins that have been glycated and been damaged by that process. So it helps repair that collagen and elastin, helps protect against this happening in the first place. And again, it's a really good reminder, cut down on your sugar. Sugar is evil. People badmouth fat. Don't worry about fat, worry about sugar. Keep sugar out of your diet. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but you can never be reminded too much of the damage that refined sugar does to your body, every single organ in your body, including your skin. We talked about this extracellular matrix. This is that area in between all the cells, and it looks very, very complex. You have a lot of these proteinaceous fibers when you're young. This starts to break down as you're older, as you age. And so being able to protect these proteins, these collagens and elastins, is so very, very vital to making sure that your skin remains young and young looking, because without this matrix of proteins, your skin does start to sag, it starts to wrinkle, and it's what happens when we age. So anything you can do to protect those fibers and those proteins will have a very, very significant visible impact on your skin. All right, so the red complex, which shouldn't be new to most people if you're familiar with the other Jouve products, this is something that's carried over from the brightener, something that is proprietary to us, and we love using this complex. It's 3 ingredients: a Japanese coral grass, Swiss snow algae, and our red radish root, which acts as our natural preservative in the product. Again, we stay away from any of the phenoxyethanols, any of the parabens, anything there that's on our never ever list. Part of our clean commitment was to make sure we use natural preservatives in these products, and that's carried through into the night cream. But the Japanese coral grass and the Swiss snow algae together, 2 really, really amazing products that act to retain moisture in your skin and to fight against free radical damage. So Swiss snow algae is a tremendous antioxidant. It has to be. It grows in very, very harsh climates, very harsh exposure to UVA and UVB rays. So it's great at protecting against that as well. The Japanese coral grass, which grows in very brackish, very salty water conditions. So it has adapted to really be able to retain moisture. And so it does the same thing in the skin, really helps just hold and lock that moisture in. And again, your skin loses a lot of water, a lot of moisture at night. And that's really when you need to replenish that moisture and really need to hold in so that it's not being lost while you sleep. Again, the antimicrobial properties of the red radish root are just amazing. I'm actually seeing more and more products out there in the retail space using this now. So I think we were a little bit of a pioneer here, seeing others jump on this bandwagon and use this ingredient. They found out just how amazing and effective it is. But I'm really proud that we started out with this in the line. So results. One of the things that I've had that I've looked at for years, and I was amazed now to look at this when I dropped this into the slide. This is now 10 years old. But there, I'm going to kick forward a couple slides here. We'll come back to this. This was now 10 years ago. I can't believe it was that long ago. But in 2007, Consumer Reports did a really, really big sort of expose on moisturizers and specifically night creams back in 2007. And they went out, as Consumer Reports does, and they pulled products off the shelf and tested them independently in their laboratories. And they took, I believe it was 20-something products. Oh, they actually tested 9. They did about 20 subjects on each one. And these were all marketed as high end. Now some were fairly cheap. They were, $38 was on the low end, up to above $300 on the high end. And they tested all these, and honestly, all they could come up with, and they measure this the same way that we measure things in our clinical trials, which is with the Vizio specs, the cameras, all of the equipment that's set up to objectively measure skin wrinkles and firmness and tone and all of these other things. So this was not just subjective. This was actually done very objectively with measurement equipment. But all they saw, and the entire report, if you read it, is actually fairly damning to a lot of these products. But really what they saw, it was slight improvements overall. That was sort of their take-home message, is that here are these creams, some of them $100, $200, $300 for, you know, a couple ounces. And all they saw were slight improvements. And in some cases, they didn't even see any statistical improvement when they measured these. And this was something that a lot of people kind of freaked out over. A lot of consumers at the time, I remember sort of freaking out over this, saying, well, what are we wasting our money on? So one of the things that we have always been very, very proud of, and we've committed to do on every Jouve product, on every Jouve leave-on product, I should say, is to run these through an independent third-party clinical study. And so we did this with the night cream, as we have with others, with Essex Labs back in New Jersey, one of the nation's leading CROs, which is a clinical research organization. Very, very good operation, and completely hands-off, completely independent. We get to approve and sign the protocol when we start, and we get the report at the end. That is all our involvement with this. We don't have any idea who the subjects are. We don't even know how they're chosen. We do know the criteria, but we don't know who they are. We don't know anything about the 6-week studies as it's going on. We don't get any reports, any updates, anything until we get the final report. So it is completely hands-off, completely third-party. And again, as with the brightener and tightener, we were blown away with the results here of this trial. And in some cases, it's almost unbelievable, because, you know, I've kind of joked about this. Getting 35, there were 35 women in this study. Getting 35 women together to agree on anything, I think, is just about impossible. So getting 100% on some of these scores, meaning that all 35 women agreed to this scoring, is just absolutely phenomenal. It's almost unbelievable to say that, you know, 100% showed a visible reduction in crow's feet and fine lines. 100% observed that their skin was softer and felt smoother, that their skin was visibly younger and healthier looking. 90% observed the firm and lifting of this product. And just start this over again here. Sorry about that. And 90% observed firmed and lifted skin. And the firming and lifting on this is a large percentage. This was over 50% measured by the equipment of the firming and toning abilities of the product. 100% said they would recommend this to a friend, and 100% said they would buy it. Now, these are women who have no idea what the product was. They don't even know who the company was. They got a plain white jar with a few things like night cream on it, and that was about it. So people are saying you're not seeing the slides now. Are you seeing that again? Here we go. That should work. Somebody type a message real quick, maybe. Okay. All right. So 100%, just like I said, just phenomenal. And if you look at any of those companies that do clinical testing, and a lot of them don't, especially in the retail sector, you'll see scores often of 80 in the 80s, maybe the low 90s, which they are very proud of, and they should be. Getting 100%, just absolutely amazing. So again, you know, you see marketing, especially you women, you're bombarded with it day in and day out on cosmetic products. And I know it's out there. I see it all the time. You know, facelift in a bottle, it's a miracle cream, it's hope in a bottle, all of these types of things. You know, and we tend to not really hype a lot of this in the marketing. We let the results speak for themselves. And, you know, as you go out and sell something like a night cream, really the best thing to do is to be your own marketing. And we always talk about that, be a product of the product. Those of you who I think have used this for a while, and I know members of our Partners Council, our Founders Club, some other people have been using this for actually quite a few months. And every time they run out, I get panicked phone calls. Hey, I need more of this. I need more of this. And so all throughout the development, we were trying to supply our Founders Club. It was like a drug habit for a while, it seemed, and we were really just trying to keep this going because it was just so loved by those who were using it. And so hopefully, I think you're all experiencing the same thing. If you've gotten your hands on this and using it yourself, you're actually seeing this in the mirror and feeling this with your fingertips, that this is just amazing. Transparency and commitment. I can't talk to you enough about this and how important this is. Keeping with our never ever list, making sure that we are Leaping Bunny and PETA certified. So important, I think, to all of us that these products are not tested on the skin, are not tested on animals rather, that they are vegan and gluten-free, that they are non-comedogenic. I know for people like me with bad skin sometimes, I mean, that's so important to know that these are not going to create or cause acne. And then, of course, the fact that these are EWG verified. So EWG, the Environmental Working Group, and their EWG verified program is very, very rigorous, looks at so much criteria. It's about a 20-page guidance document that we have to abide by. They look at all of our products. We have to have full transparency all throughout the supply chain, from raw materials all the way to finished product. They verify that they go into our manufacturing facility. They verify that good manufacturing practices and OTC standards are followed. They really just pick apart our products. And it really is still kind of a badge of honor for us to have our products EWG verified. Still fewer than 1,000 products out there are EWG verified. We were one of the first 10 companies to adopt this. I've actually been back to Washington with EWG to lobby for better cosmetic legislation. Really, really good group of people, and we were early adopters of this. And again, still, with all of the hundreds of thousands of skincare products out there, still fewer than 1,000 are EWG verified. So this is still something that we are very proud of and very honored to be part of this program and know that our products score 1s and 2s on everything, which is no or low toxicity concerns, and still very, very clean, not only in our eyes, but in EWG's eyes. They've been very, very complimentary towards us and our products and what they contain and how we went about creating these products. So really, really briefly, let's just go over routines. If anybody has any questions, a lot of people still use the brightener, the dark spot corrector, rather, in the AM. They use the tightener along with that if that's something that that you need, and then PM routine. I know there's still a lot of people who like to use the brightener twice a day, and if your concerns are dark spots or uneven skin tone or pigment, that's still a great thing to do. It's still a fantastic product for evening out your skin tone, which was not the focus of the night cream, obviously. So I know for people who are concerned about age spots and uneven skin tone, they still like to use the brightener at night as well. If you do that, we just recommend that you do that first and allow that to dry and completely absorb into your skin. That usually takes about 8 to 10 minutes for that to just completely absorb down into the deeper layers. And then use your night cream. And again, wait about 10 to 15 minutes if you can before you then put head to pillow, just to make sure that that is completely absorbed. And that is sort of the best routine. And for you guys on the call, this is not just for the women. This is not a problem that we don't share. You should be using this as well, and you should also be marketing this to men, because it matters for all of us. And maybe we don't get caught up in the beauty crazes the way that the women do, just because so much marketing is directed towards them. But remember, this is not about only having good looking skin, it's about having healthy skin. And again, your skin is your biggest organ. It's a carrier. It's how so many things are absorbed into your body. You want the healthiest and the most vibrant and the most radiant skin you can. So guys, you need this too. Trust me, you all need this. I know I need this. This is one that I've started using again during development. I've used this for a lot of months. And you know what? I'm proud of the fact when people mistake my age and think I'm still in my 30s or even my early 40s. And you know, I chalk that up to being able to have good products available to me. So guys, don't be afraid of using this. Don't be afraid of marketing to men. This is a product that everybody should be using. And this is just, as we finish, you know, one of the things is I've developed these products and developed hundreds of cosmetics over the years. There are those that I've helped companies develop that that I am proud to take home, that I would give to my daughters, I would give to my mom. These, I'll tell you, these Jouve products are the best of the best. I would give these to any of the loved ones and recommend them to anybody, sisters, daughters, a wife, mother, anybody in your family. These are products that we should all be using. Again, just a line that's going to continue to grow and continue to be just an amazing cornerstone of the ARIIX business and something for you to get out there and sell. We are developing additional Jouve products. You will see this line grow, like I mentioned, and we're just really, really excited about it. So we're going to switch gears. Check the time here. Okay, so we're going to talk about MOA. Now, there hopefully isn't anybody on the call that is unfamiliar with MOA at this point. So let's just talk about really, in this case, making a great product even better. Now, we know MOA is so much more than a supplement. Start this over again. Got some screen sharing problems today. Apologize for that. Wow, my computer is really, really having some problems. All right. So, what have we done to MOA? We, like I said, our job here was to take a great product and make it better. So, we really approached this product upgrade with the thought: how do we make this product even better? How do we take something and make it better? Now, one of the things that we have been asked over and over throughout the years is how can we make MOA more portable, easier to sample with, and how do we make this just more convenient in general? So the timing was finally right. We got everything worked out from a manufacturing standpoint to go to a pouch, and this is something we had wanted to do for a long time, and we had a lot of the field asking for a long time if we could move to this kind of delivery system. So this was something that we were finally able to do and work through. Now, of course, as we were changing our packaging, we were going to take advantage of the opportunity to upgrade the formula as well. So we looked at all of the ingredients. This was, again, our opportunity. So this is what Deanna Latson and I and the team sat back and said, okay, how do we make this product even better? We don't want to change it. We know we love this product, and we know everybody does. So how do we just improve it? How do we take this this pouch that's portable and shareable and convenient and accessible to the consumer now, and make not only the outside better but the inside? So we kind of took this approach, and I kind of feel like one of these infomercial guys, you know, Billy Mays and some of these other guys, and, you know, but wait, there's more. And that was sort of our approach here, is not just making one change, or two changes, but a variety of changes to make the inside and outside again. And again, you know, being disruptive, always pushing the other teams. We wanted to really just push the envelope of this product that's already so unique out in the industry and just make it even more so. So we took a look at the ingredients, and we took a look at this whole philosophy with MOA. And really with MOA, our philosophy is this is sort of head to toe, whole body nutrition. This is all of the benefits in MOA and the ingredients in MOA are amazing. They're so varied. We're talking about things that affect your cardiovascular health, your immune system, your upper respiratory system, all of these things that can benefit from the ingredients in MOA. This is truly sort of head-to-toe nutrition. So as we looked at this, we were able to put in 2 new ingredients to bolster our line of medicinal mushrooms that are in the product. And the first of these, the lion's mane mushroom, this has been noted historically for cognitive function and mood, as well as cardiovascular health benefits as well. But this is something that historically has been used in Japan, where it's from, by monks who use this to help them meditate and concentrate as they go through all of their meditation and focus. And so this is kind of traditionally where it was used, and of course now in modern medicine it's been adopted and used in a lot of products for cognitive function. So again, head to toe, we really wanted to make sure we now had sort of brain and nervous system health function covered in this sort of head to toe nutrition. Again, it does have some great cardiovascular benefits as well as anti-aging benefits, but really the true amazing property of this lion's mane mushroom is its effect on the nerve cells. It's a tough claim for us to make from a regulatory standpoint because it's one of those kind of disease claims, but we are very proud of the fact that this does really help support cognitive health, and that's sort of the way to talk about it and be compliant, is just how this helps support good cognitive function and cognitive health as it does protect the nervous system. We added the agaricus mushroom. Agaricus is part of the most common family of mushrooms, which is the button mushrooms, but this specific species of mushroom actually comes from the Brazilian rainforest, and the people down there, the tribes people down there that use this, in fact, they have the same word in their language for meat and for mushroom. It's that important to their diet, this mushroom down there that they have cultivated and used for, again, hundreds of years. It was only discovered about 30 years ago as its own species and has been studied very, very heavily since then. It's been shown to be very, very effective against oxidative stress, against fighting off free radicals, which is, again, one of the big cornerstones of MOA. This is such a powerful antioxidant product. It promotes cardiovascular health, as do a lot of the other mushrooms. And again, this anti-aging benefit, which our entire mushroom complex is really, really effective with, is its anti-aging benefits. So we added these 2 new mushrooms, bringing the total amount of superfruits up to 36 now, from 34 to 36, and thought, well, you know what, while we're at it, there's more. So we looked at all of the clinical studies with these mushrooms, everything that's out there and published, and the benefits and the research, and decided that we could actually increase all of the mushrooms, not only the 2 new ones, but the existing mushrooms, by 20%. So we did that, increased all of these mushrooms in there 20% per serving, and just have found that this is just an amazing thing that we were able to do with some of these really potent, efficacious ingredients. These really are powerful ingredients with really noted and researched health benefits. So having just a little bit more in each serving is even better for these, again, these cognitive functions, mood, cardiovascular health, immune support, anti-aging benefits, antioxidant properties. So this is something that we've always known made MOA very unique, was this combination of mushrooms. We believe this is now just a really, really good cornerstone, and something unique for you to go out and talk about. It's a really powerful message. Again, we talk about the immune support from the mushrooms and so many of these other ingredients that are in MOA. And again, it's almost difficult to talk about how great this product is without getting into the disease claims that get us all in trouble sometimes. Because it's one of those things that we want to talk about it because we know how great it is. And we know just how powerful this is. And we have so many stories and anecdotes from people who've used this over the years. And we know, we just know how good this is, especially when it comes to immune support. And the reason that MOA is so effective, I believe, is that it really does help your immune system work the way it's supposed to. There's nothing that we could give you, nothing that we could provide for you that is better for you than having a healthy immune system. Your immune system on its own, when it's working and humming along and healthy, is better for you and more powerful towards maintaining good health than any other supplement or any other nutrient that you can take in. There's no replacement for having a healthy immune system. And so all of these ingredients that help bolster your immune system and help it work the way it's supposed to, it's no wonder that MOA is such an amazing product, because that is at the heart of it, is supporting your immune system and helping you to have a very healthy and robust immune system. And that's why people see the benefits they do on MOA, is because it's recharging their own batteries. And one of the things specifically, as we talk about the mushrooms specifically and the way they're grown and the nutrients that they absorb from the purple corn that they're grown on, they absorb these beta-glucans, and beta-glucans stimulate macrophages. Macrophage in Latin simply means big mouth. So these are the white blood cells that go around just gobbling up all the toxins and the contaminants in your body. They are the garbage collectors. They are the ones that get rid of all of the nasty stuff out of your system. And again, just help your immune system just hum along the way it's supposed to. And so these beta-glucans that come from this purple corn that the mushrooms are grown on really is just amazing, and helps you just have this enhanced immune system. Just helps everything to work the way it's supposed to, and that is just the most beneficial thing that you can have, is a healthy immune system. We're going to skip just a couple slides here on these mushrooms. So I'm just going to kind of go through here. But again, this complex now, agaricus, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, maitake, and shiitake. I don't think I've seen anything like it out there anywhere in a supplement, especially a supplement like this that's full of whole foods, extracts, powders, mushrooms, all of these things that work together in MOA, all of these superfoods that just help you, again, head to toe. But again, we didn't stop there. One of the other ingredients that we thought could make just a huge difference was an increase in our bergamot. Bergamot extract, again, for its ability to help with the cardiovascular system and specifically with healthy cholesterol levels, is simply amazing. And I got the opportunity back in May to visit where this is grown and produced and processed in Sicily, and to see this process from beginning to end, and just see the high quality standards, and see truly how potent this ingredient is. So this is something else we thought that we had the opportunity to increase, and wanted to do that. Again, there are at least 5 clinical studies that I have read on the effects of this bergamot extract specifically, on its effects with the cardiovascular system, and helping cardiovascular wellness, as well as its specific benefits with healthy cholesterol levels and maintaining healthy cholesterol levels. So with all of that, those were some amazing improvements. We thought there was one other area that people told us, you can't change this, you can't touch this, folks. With a product like yours, with so many fresh purees and juices and powerful ingredients in there, it calls for a very powerful preservative. And the only thing available in the market for forever has been synthetic preservatives. Sodium benzoates, sorbates, propionates, these synthetic preservatives that are used by everybody because they are the most powerful. They're the ones that get the job done. This is something that we have always wanted to move beyond. The technology has finally caught up where we were able to now create our own preservative system. So for a little over 18 months, we worked together with our team, with food scientists, with formulators, in developing what is truly the first ever natural preservative system that works on a broad spectrum in a product like this, which means it fights against gram-positive bacteria, gram-negative bacteria, yeast, mold, other spoilage organisms. That's what we talk about with broad spectrum, because there is just nothing out there on the market anywhere in the natural world that works on all of these microorganisms. And so this is something that, again, was so unique and something that we had to create because it just didn't exist. We actually filed a patent on this, so this is patent pending. This has now won 2 awards for innovation. It is just the first ever of its kind. It is truly unique. I expect to see other companies in the future try to copy this and try to mimic this and emulate this. But for now, this is something that is just ours. Something that I'm just so proud of for the team for pulling together and doing this. And it was long, it was hard, and we had a lot of failures. There's the quote from Thomas Edison about finding 10,000 ways not to create the light bulb. It felt for a while like we were coming up with 10,000 ways not to create ARIIX. We had failure after failure, and finally made all of the adjustments so that we now had a preservative system that tested as well as, if not better, in a couple of our microbial challenges as some of the sorbates and benzoates out there. So we were finally able to separate this. Now, one of the other things that we did is retool this just slightly in the taste department by using stevia, which is a natural sweetener that we all love. So we did take out the agave syrup and we put in stevia. Really good sweetener in this case. And what this does, and I always kind of shy away from claims of 100% natural, because there aren't the greatest standards for what natural means. But looking at this product now, from the sweetener, from the preservatives to all the active ingredients, top to bottom, I would be confident in calling this a 100% natural product. Everything now in MOA is natural. Again, from top to bottom, preservatives, additives, all of those things are all natural. And there isn't anything in there now that I am ashamed of or feel like we need to excuse or justify. This is just an amazing product, top to bottom, and I hope that you all see the improvements as not only an easier way to sample the product with this pouch, but with the new ingredients and everything else. This is just truly a product unlike anything else out there. So this increase in actives, these new ingredients, everything, I just think has made this product just, again, one of a kind. And as you go out and you sell this product to prospects, there are just so many talking points. I mean, you could almost never run out of talking points with MOA, from each of the ingredients and the things that we've gone over today to just the story of superfoods. And what is a superfood? It's a nutritionally dense, low-calorie product with proven benefits. And talk about how we've scoured the earth for all of these superfoods. We put these together into a blend that you can't get anywhere else. You truly can't get anywhere else. This is not a juice. This is so much more than a juice. It's so much more than a supplement. This is just a powerhouse. And I always thought MOA was great. It was good, and amazingly, I think we were able to make it better. So stop these slides here. So we've used most of our hour, and again, I know you guys, your time is precious. So I just want to take just a few minutes that we've got left and go over some of these questions. The question comes about the bottle. Are we going to continue the bottle? So for now, we have switched completely over to the pouch. There are some markets, such as Europe and a few others, that still have a large inventory of the bottles. They're going to carry those bottles as the pouches are introduced. They're going to also carry those bottles until inventory is depleted. once that inventory is depleted, then we'll make that decision whether we continue with the bottles. For now, in most markets, there is no plan to continue the bottles. We have switched completely over to the pouches. So that was one of the questions. I see the question, when will sample pouches be available for purchase? Again, right now there are no plans to sell those individually. There are samples of this that now come in the Boss, as well as the 30-pack box. But right now there are no plans to sell sample pouches on their own. Kind of go through some of these really quick. How can we make the peppery aftertaste better? Well, Christine, I don't know how to answer that one, because that is such a hallmark of this product, the black pepper and the black seed in there that create this very unique taste that we all know from MOA. So I don't know if that's just something that you get used to. I know for me that was just something that I was surprised at first, and then took me a little while to get used to, and then it took me a little while to love, and it's actually now something that I really love. So I don't know if there's a way really to change that. It's not going to go away. So that's just hopefully something that you grow to love if you don't now. Samples of night creams. Okay, I think the sample question was about the night cream. Again, there are sample pouches, sample sachets being created. I do not know when they're available. I believe that is fairly soon. I know we are getting the first lot in to put into the Boss, but I think they are working on packs now that will contain that sample pouch and pouches of day and night together. So those will be soon. Unfortunately, I don't know what the date is for marketing, but we can find out on that. What about newer products that post-date that Consumer Report study? See a lot of fancy ingredients. I've got to tell you, with cosmetics, it's actually disappointing to me, being in this industry for as long as I have, how little changes. I see new marketing spin, I see new terms, I see a lot of things being talked about, but really when you dive into it, and as you sit down and go over this, especially in a room full of cosmetic chemists, you realize that very, very little has changed. There are new ingredients that are developed all the time, but in a lot of cases, companies are using the same things they used 10, 20 years ago. They might be using different things to help the feel of the product, to maybe make a cream that slips a little better, through your fingers, that goes onto your skin, that maybe absorbs better. So functionally, a lot of cosmetics have gotten better in the way they feel. Unfortunately, the ingredients they're using to do that are not always clean and non-toxic. A lot of silicones and a lot of methicones and things like that are being used. But in terms of active ingredients, I just don't see a lot of them out there updating their active ingredients and taking advantage of new products that are being developed. Unfortunately, I just see everything, even the the SK2, Shiseido, Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, a lot of these brands come across to me as being fairly lazy in their development, and they can sort of get away with it. They're living off their names, and people buy their products, and unfortunately, there just is not a lot in the cosmetic realm out there in the retail sector that is really new. Okay, so Kelly, you're saying the pepper is much stronger. It may seem that way. The pepper was not increased. What we did find is that the agave syrup did cover some of that up. And so when we took that out, we did see a lot of these flavors sort of intensify. But what we really did like is the fact that a lot of the fruitiness and some of these others came out better as well. So there were a lot of people who tested it, and we kind of just went off their opinions. And when people all decided they liked it, we considered our job done in the development sector. So so maybe if it is just causing some problems, I'm not sure what to do. Again, there were just a lot of people who loved the changes, felt that the flavors were a lot brighter, a lot more, they got a lot of these more fruity notes that were in there that were being covered up with the sweetness of the agave that we didn't like. So again, hopefully with the change, you get used to that. You learn to love the upgraded formula, and hopefully that's again something you learn to love. What about animals? Is MOA okay to give to dogs and cats? Yes, it is. In fact, I have a site that is mostly used by the Europeans, a Facebook site, but I did do a post on there. I worked with, had a long talk with Terry Silkman, who is a veterinarian on our wellness council, and he did confirm a lot of things in there that that MOA is okay for dogs and cats. There is nothing in there, especially at levels there, that are any concern to dog and cats. So Linda, it's a great question. We did actually do a video where I addressed that, and maybe I can put that or maybe make that available just on the regular ARIIX corporate website, just in case people do have that question. Just a couple more minutes. Carol, you had a question, a really good question. I'd like to give all of our products to my children ages 7 and 11. Any comments on this? Yes, if you look on the Insight, which is on the X Office, if you look in Insight, there is, in the product section, a whole dosing guide for children. And this is something that Deanna and I put together to talk about all of the products and doses, and especially differences in doses where those apply for children. So that's probably the best place and the best place that I could send you to answer those questions. But in general, yes, there are some changes in dosages with some of the Nutrify products that you want to look at. So take a look at that. It is on Insight. I think you just go on Insight and search for a dosing guide for children, and it'll come right up. With the night cream, why do you have to wait 15 minutes? That's really just making sure that the product is fully absorbed into the skin just before you lie down on a pillow or on your sheets or whatever. It really does absorb fairly quickly. One of the things that was actually amazing the way this was put together is, even for as thick and rich and luxuriant as it is, it does absorb very well and very quickly. But it's just to make sure that that really has a chance to completely absorb into your skin. So good question on that. Question on this recording too. Where can we access the recording? I'm not sure. I know I turn all of these over to marketing when I'm done with them. I don't know where they are, so I'm going to make a note and I'll ask, and we'll see if we can get that out. And maybe on the next one, we'll spend just a couple minutes talking about where these recorded trainings are. I know they are on X Office somewhere, but I couldn't tell you anything beyond that. Really quick, Terrence, great question on the packaging used for MOA pouches. This is packaging that's been fully tested for a number of years. Innovative Flex Pack that does this for us has very carefully tested this, not only for food safety, but also what is called package compatibility, which is that we take our formula and the packaging and we test those together to make sure that there is nothing in our formula that causes any interaction with the packaging. So it has tested to be completely inert. There is no transference. There is no leaching. There is nothing here. Again, it is fully FDA approved food safety contact, and has been shown in the compatibility testing to not have any leaching or any degradation. So that is a great question. You can feel very confident in the pouches and the material that we use in there. That laminar pouch has been tested not only with our product, but with a lot of products on the market. Innovative does a great job and has developed these films to be very safe. That's shown not only with our product, but with a lot of flex pack pouches. So they've done just a ton of testing on that, but also specifically with our formula. Shelf life for the MOA packets is 2 years. As we go and have this out on the market longer, we'll be able to collect more long-term shelf life stability, and that may extend. But for now, we're keeping that at 2 years, and we just want to make sure that the product is kept as fresh and as potent as possible. So I think with that, we're going to end. I know there are a lot of questions. I'm sorry I can't get to everything. But again, thanks for spending part of your Saturday with me, and hopefully this is useful, and hopefully you either picked up some new information or were reminded of some of the things with the launch of these products that are good talking points and things that you can go out and use now as you talk to other people about why these products are as amazing as we think they are. Again, go be a product of the product. There's nothing that sells these better than you out there with your radiant, shiny skin, youthful looking, healthy skin, drinking a pack of MOA that has kept you healthy when everybody else around you seems to be getting sick. So thank you again for spending time. We'll do this again in a month, where I think we may be discussing the new Revive products next month, and I'll see you then. So thanks again, everybody, and have a good day and a good weekend. Bye.